Let's
Good
go.
afternoon, everyone. Welcome into another edition of the Morning Edge. DeadPresPicks, joined by SlopRules. It is Thursday. We have some Thursday night football to get into, John. A big night ahead. But first, let's get a little recap on yesterday. Let's start with the Jamal Murray pick, John. I think we got robbed of that big plus. He hit his normal over, so like that was good. We'll take that. But I mean, what happened with the full game over? Was it the blowout that kind of killed it? You think?
Yeah, all right. So he had 20 points at the half. Just what we said was going to happen. That was beautiful. But
That's
obviously, I'm not one to brag or pat myself on the back. But I knew that was going to happen. You know what I mean? Like we can't just have the standard line because that's going to cash at halftime. Now what are we supposed to do? We
yes.
just go to bed. You know what I mean? It's like 10:15, I think was halftime. So you add the 10 points, 30 plus, get you plus 750. Some people are even saying they got plus 900 for them. Can you
Wow.
imagine that? Yes, but the only problem was the Rockets are just like, what are they doing? Like they were getting smashed, like literally the entire time. Murray did come in the fourth though. I mean, he banged a three real quick and then just didn't take any more shots, and then they took them all out, like with probably I think like 2 minutes left. Man, it was fun though. I had a great time watching that game. Put a little cash in my pocket with the
Yeah.
standard line,
Yeah.
but yeah, it happens. Now it's time to move on to Thursday night. What did you do last night? I
I,
think
I
didn't I. Was that
yeah,
you that I saw on Twitter with like nothing but green check marks all
yeah.
over?
I had the green check marks out last night. We had 9 in a row. It ended up North Carolina lost to kind of kill the streak, but then the Kings won, so like it evened out at the end of the night.
Yes.
That did break it, but at one point last night, yeah, it was 9 in a row. So we're
That's
feeling
great.
good, and it's good. Get those winners out of the way, and now I did lose one of my overnight plays, which is kind of a smart
Smart.
strategy.
That's a
Yep.
smart loss. That's probably one
Yeah.
of the smart ways to lose. Like
You're
lose
going to
one
take a
while you're
loss.
sleeping.
That's when to do it. When most people are sleeping, yeah,
Now you
no,
wake up too.
exactly. Nobody's really watching the game, so nobody can like actually get mad. You wake
Exactly.
up, now you're ready to go. So actually, a pretty good move there. And now we have a good game tonight, John. We got the Bills and the Patriots. Obviously, a big divisional game. The AFC East looks legit this year. Obviously, we have the Dolphins up there looking like a playoff team. New England's on the outside, currently looking in. I don't know if the Jets are good or not, but like they're in a spot to be in the playoffs right now. So
Can I
a
tell you a
lot.
secret?
You tell me, yes,
I
please.
think like I think the Jets are actually good.
That would be
Like
crazy.
it sounds ridiculous, right? But I think that Zach Wilson is so bad that we didn't realize they were good. Does
That's
that make
possible.
like,
Yeah,
yeah?
I
Like
kind of like that theory. So like with
I
Mike
th- I
White,
think that's what happened. That's
with,
why, like, because they're 7-4, so like you should be thinking, oh, they are pretty good. But you saw Zach Wilson play all year, so you're like, they're getting lucky wins. They're barely, you know what I'm saying? They're scraping by. It's like if they had an actual NFL quarterback, like there's a chance that they could be like kind of good.
like what if you put Justin Herbert on the Jets? How many wins do
They
they
would
get?
probably be pretty good.
Yeah, I
They'd
think
be they'd
they're
be
gonna
a
get 10,
they'd have
11.
a great social media quarterback. I know that. That's what they're. No,
But
but here's the thing that Mike White, he might
yeah,
not be that bad.
he was electric last year, but then he also like sucked. So like
In
it's
college,
where did he go to college?
I think he was the Western Kentucky kid that
Okay,
just like threw for like a million yards, maybe even more. I'd have to
that
look it
sounds
up. I
like
think
that
he threw
sounds
for a
like
million.
kind of right. They had what's his name too,
Playing
Bailey
low.
Zapp.
He was
It
an
seems like they like that. There's guys who just
Yeah,
come.
he was an over guy, big time, like
Yeah,
like really big time. But like he was good sometimes last year. He kind of sucked at times, but like I don't know. You're
he's got
Mike
to be
White.
better
You
than
know what
Zach
I mean? Like
Wilson.
you're given an opportunity. You're probably gonna have some highs and lows. I bet you he's not that bad. I bet you when he like flattens out, like
Mm-hmm.
he'll be like kind of decent. Like boy, like he won't be like shitty.
Awful.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like he'll
as
be
long,
like one step above like shitty
yeah,
at
and
worst.
that
At
could be,
worst.
and that's
Like
probably better than Zach Wilson. So
yes,
they
and with
Jets
that
might get the thing.
defense, I think that's all you need with that defense. You just need someone who's not that bad.
Not bad. I
Mhm.
kind of like that. So for tonight's game, Buffalo and New England. It's in New England. Did they play the game last year? Like that crazy windstorm?
Mhm.
Was that New England or Buffalo? It was in Buffalo, right?
I think that was in Buffalo.
Yeah,
I'm
that
pretty.
game was wild. So they
They
split
threw the
last year.
ball 3 times.
They split last year, right? And then the Bills beat them in the playoffs, if I
Hmm.
remember
Yep.
correctly.
But the win game is why New England got the win.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
like
if that
that
it
game's
was not windy, like Josh Allen was still throwing in that.
well, he could throw through the wind. He's the only guy in the NFL that
I
probably can.
think it was like 14-10,
Yeah,
and like somehow they threw the ball. Like the Patriots threw it 3 times. I think I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure they only threw it 3 times.
it was kind of like watching Army Navy, which
Yeah,
was
yep.
so it was
Well,
pretty much.
Belichick had the Navy sweatshirt on before something,
Yep.
or maybe it was at something, and then they just ran it legit every time.
Thought
I
it was
know because I had Jonnu Smith's receiving yards over. I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, that kind of been a fun. I remember I had the Bills that night, and I was just like, cancel the game. You know, I was that guy that was like, well, the weather, if it's like this, we shouldn't
Yeah.
be playing. So
Yeah.
I was definitely petty about that last year. But tonight, meaningful game early in the year. Got a couple of bets for this game. John, as always, we're going to start with your bet and what you're looking at. So let's get into your pick first.
All right, so obviously we want to get kind of wild. We don't want a standard line right away. We can do the standard line if we want, and I probably will, but we should probably step it up a little bit. Josh Allen, 80-plus yards. It was plus 580. Now it's plus 470. So if you want to really get loose, you might have to go 90-plus. That's plus 680. But I think he's going to run tonight. I really do. I think the Patriots pass rush is pretty good, and I think he's just going to take off more than he wants to. Over the last 4 games, he's gone 80-plus twice. The one time he didn't, he went for 78 last game.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's right there. But for one, he's Josh Allen. You know what I mean? So, like, there's always a chance this. He could get you a 40-yard run, like, at any point in the game. But the Patriots strike me as a type of defense where he will have to take off at some point. I heard his offensive line has the flu. That's what people are saying. Like, I don't know how true that is because I don't know any of them personally.
Yeah.
But people are saying they have the flu. I think he's missing his tackle, too, the left tackle. That's another problem. Matthew Judon is pretty filthy. He'll wax like whoever's playing. I think the guy's name's Dawkins. I'm not positive, but anyways, that sets up perfect. Like people are like, oh well, he's missing offensive line. We won't be able to throw something. He still can run. Like I know that he's not Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields, but both of those two went 80+ on the Patriots. Lamar Jackson went 100+. Again, yeah. Allen's not those two. But he's not those two either. Does that make sense? Like
I'm following what you're saying.
Like he's not. I don't know. Like he's not Matt Ryan or Jared Goff. Like we're talking Josh Allen here.
Yes,
so
I like it.
His standard line right now at FanDuel's 45.5. I saw it at 42.5 at DraftKings. So I mean, definitely shop around. You're gonna get different prices, different places. But I'd say take the standard line for like your normal bet, and then go one YOLO. Maybe 2. Like if you want to go 50, 60, 70, you can do all that. But I'm just going to go one big YOLO plus the standard line on that.
Think it looks like a winner. Honestly, I like that.
It just feels right.
It can't be that hard. Yeah, I think you could do it for sure. I'm not buying this whole flu thing, by the way, John. I mean, it's still Josh Allen and the Bills. Like I think I could play left tackle, and Josh Allen would still probably have a good game.
Yeah, no, but he'll just run. That's all I'm saying. Like you're gonna get it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like it's either gonna be throwing or running. But it's gonna be a little bit.
All right, I'm looking at a prop tonight. I'm gonna go with Gabe Davis here over 48.5 receiving yards. If you kind of break it down with New England this year, their numbers defensively, especially against the pass, I think are a little bit skewed. They've been really good against bad offenses like the Jets game. I think the Jets had like 4 yards that game, so that'll play into it. They played the Colts. They can't really throw the ball. The Browns stink. The Lions, sorry, John, but they got shut out against the Patriots. So they played the Steelers mixed in there. Like they've played a lot of really bad offenses. But then when you look at offenses that are more similar to the Bills, and the Bills are better. I think the Bills are the best offense in football. So, but these are offenses that are respectable. Miami, they threw the ball with some success. Obviously, last week we saw Kirk Cousins just shred that defense up. And who else did they play? Let me see. Oh, the Packers. Aaron Rodgers with probably a broken thumb or something, right? He kind of had his way against them. So they've struggled. Even the Ravens hung up a big number on them this year. So really, the 4 or 5 good offenses that they faced, they have not been impressive against. Buffalo is better than any of those offenses in my eyes. So Gabe Davis tonight, and this is a guy who, for some reason, every time he plays in prime time, he kind of goes off. That's like his thing. I think he's going to have a really good game tonight. Bill Belichick, obviously a defensive mastermind, always has a great game plan. But if I'm going to guess, Bill Belichick probably is more worried about Stephon Diggs than Gabe Davis. So he's going to put his best on Diggs. He's going to give Diggs more attention. I think this sets up for a positive kind of game script for Davis. And he's averaging about 6-7 targets a game. So he's getting the looks. Usually 1 or 2 of those targets is a deep ball. I like him here to get over this number. I mean, this feels like he could get it in a play or two. And I'm kind of going to stick around there at that number. If it jumps into the 50s, I'd still give it a look, but I don't think I would go over 50.5 here on this play because it has kind of jumped throughout the day. I think it actually opened as low as 45.5. So just keep an eye on this. Try to lock it in as soon as possible. But I'm still seeing it on DraftKings there at 48.5. So that's going to be my bet. Going to go Gabe Davis here. Big Gabe Davis game, John. And let's get some QB scrambles from Josh Allen, right? And some deep balls to Gabe Davis, and we're rich. I mean, that seems like it could happen.
If Allen runs 10 times, he's getting a steal.
Yeah, and what's your thoughts just on the game? If you had to pick a side, I know you're not always a side guy, you're more of a prop guy, but
if I had to take a side, I'd say Buffalo, but I mean, yeah, I can't bet that because I got bowling tonight, and it's going to be on, and I'm in New England, so you cannot just roll up to the bowling alley with a Buffalo ticket. For one, if they lose, you're going to have a horrible night, just because you can't tell anybody, and then you can't root for it. Yeah, so yeah, I can't. My hands are tied. I can't bet this, but the only thing that kind of scares me is the fact that the line was 5 or so, and I liked Buffalo at that. And it's 3.5 right now. I'm like, oh.
It's weird. It definitely is weird. But maybe it's because, like you mentioned, everybody thinks the whole team is the flu. But listen, if there's one team that can play through the flu, it's the Bills and Josh Allen. I feel like Josh Allen just doesn't get sick. He doesn't get hurt. I mean, he's just kind of like a robot. You know what I mean?
I trust Allen with the flu. Even with the flu, he's like Jordan. We talked about yesterday.
Allen's like the kind of guy that would maybe even play better with the flu. Like a lot of guys, he would be more motivated. His arms somehow get stronger. I just don't. I don't know. I don't think the Patriots are good at all. I feel like they're a fake. Look who they've beat. They haven't really been.
That's twice, and the Lions. That's 3 wins. 3 of their wins.
Does the Steelers and Colts count? I don't know if they count.
The Steelers, I think, didn't have. Wasn't Mitch, or if it wasn't Mitch, wasn't it Kenny Pickett?
I think it was Mitch. I think it was still Mitch.
Mitch, that doesn't count at all because they didn't have T.J. Watt either.
So they have not beaten a team over 500 this year. So yeah, they're frauds.
That's not great. Yeah, I mean they're kind of like bullies. You know what I mean? They're beating up on the weak.
It kind of is bullying. Yeah, and they've lost to some every good team they've played. They've lost to Dolphins, Ravens, Vikings. Vikings might be frauds, but I mean the Bears beat them. That's bad. The Bears smoked them. They beat them 33.
I think here's what my theory on this. I think Mac Jones wasn't ready to come back, but he was scared because the Zappy kid was. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that was the Mac Jones. He played 5 minutes.
Came back in, and they were like, "No, buddy, you're down."
Yeah, he was kind of the man for a minute. It looked like it was kind of a Tom Brady story again.
Yeah, people are wearing shirts up here don't worry, be zappy, stuff like that. You can go buy it right now. So people and Mac Jones is he knows what time it is. He went to Alabama. There's always a quarterback behind him that can just take
you always get replaced in a year or two at Alabama. No matter how. So, the only guy who
that's what my theory is.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I'm not too high on New England though. I think it's the Bills, but the line definitely flipping is odd. It has made some significant movement. So we got
5 to 3.5.
Yeah, that's a heavy jump.
Might even have been more than 5. Now I think it could have been 5.5 or 6. I'm not positive.
It opened at 5.5, and now it's 3.5. So yeah, it's full 2.
That's a bad move. Like if it goes to 3, now I'm really worried. But now I'm more happy because that means that Allen will probably be in more passing situations. Because the
Yes.
last thing you want is for the Bills if you got Allen, the last thing you want is the Bills to come out and just start kicking the Patriots' ass
Right.
because now
You don't want
they're
because
not.
then he'll start kneeling too. Like at the end of the game, he loses
Yeah,
some.
you lose a few yards there.
So you got to watch for the kneel downs. But I do think the line last week when they played Minnesota was the same. It was 3 or 3.5. Like that was weird too. Even though we think the Vikings might be frauds, it was still at home. Like that line was kind of a Patriots line, but the Vikings still won.
Yeah, but that was the. Did you watch that game?
I did, and
The
yeah,
fraudulent win you'll ever see in your life. Hunter Henry, that was a touchdown, no doubt.
well, I
And
think it was
then the
kind of the Patriots though, because remember the who was it? Jesse James, right? The Steelers, Patriots. It was kind of the same catch. Like
yeah,
it was the same thing with but
yeah,
and went against them. Now it goes full circle. So it
exactly.
saved the
But
Patriots.
all I'm saying is, when it comes to the Vikings, that was a touchdown, no doubt. The hold on the kick return, like the guy was like blatantly held, like on the sideline, like that would have came back. Like there was a lot that happened that game that if it didn't, I guess is what I'm saying, but could have easily not happened. Like they could
Yeah,
have easily called a hold there. You don't get that touchdown for the
I
Vikings.
kind of
They
love
could have
when
called that a catch. You get it. You know what I mean? Like
now.
so the Vikings are still frauds. I just don't want the Vikings fans to think that we're coming off them not being frauds here. Like they almost got beat by the Patriots, but that doesn't make the Patriots good. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That
But
makes
my favorite is when stuff like that happens. Like all the guys on Twitter who bet on like the Patriots, and they'll just
Oh
start.
yeah, it's
Yo,
rigged.
the refs, it's rigged. Yeah, like the refs have a Patriots ticket. Like, it's my favorite thing when people start throwing out like, this is so rigged, like I'm done, like that kind of thing. So that's
Like
always
what
entertaining. Like I
you
hope
have
we
heard
get
his
rigged
wife's
games.
tweet. That was throw that up.
Oh yeah, there's nothing better than the rig game
Can't
guys.
beat that.
So that's gonna wrap it up, guys, for our show this morning. Just to reiterate one more time, we have Gabe Davis over 48.5, and then John, what was your line on Josh Allen?
It was 42.5. You can get 45.5 now. I'd take that. That's the
Yeah.
standard line. The YOLO, like if you want to get loose, I do. I think it's 80 plus 470 right now.
Okay.
It was plus 580, so I do apologize. They moved it on us. Like not my fault. I don't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
If you want to actually get like super wild though, and make up for that, you could do 90 plus. I think it's like plus 670. So you got options here, guys. I mean, it's Thursday night. Just go out and be somebody.
Be somebody today. Yes. Do something. Do something tonight. All right. That's
Do
going
it.
to be it for us, guys. But make sure to stay tuned for the huddle, which is coming up next with Pat Mayo, Ross Tucker, Brian Matthews, and Pam Maldonado. And then after that, we're not done yet, John. At 4:30, we have even more coverage for some World Cup picks with the Golden Goal. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys hang around, and we will see you guys tomorrow.